Hey, Corporal Kelly, my name is Bob Fisher. I'm a retired Master Sergeant, USMC. I retired in November 1997. I went to boot camp in January 1976. And in Parris Island, South Carolina, they were still issuing the M1941 combat pack, with the shelter half over the top, the whole 9 yards. I just watched your video about you described what was called the indigenous Arvin pack. That's actually incorrect. Here, let's come around. I've got one here, and on the inside flap, it says Field Pack Combat Nylon M1967 USMC, and then it's got the NSN number. This was actually a nylon replacement for the M1941 Field Pack. Close it up. On the side was a bayonet, just like on the M1941. There's a loop here, a loop on the side, and another one on the other side. The reason for that, just like on your M1941 pack, your shelter half went over the top. You've got your clips right here, or the holes right here. Those are your E-tool, exactly like the M1941 combat pack. In conjunction with this, you needed, oh yeah, come over here now, the M1967 H-harness system. I came back from Okinawa in '89, and I did not like the single straps that they issued, so I went out in town, the surplus store, and I bought the H-harness. Didn't realize what the two clips up on top were for until I matched it up with my Alice pack, with the combat pack. On the combat pack, you've got the two little holes. Come on, get in there. Start with the side first. Flip it. It's easier when it's on a table instead of hanging. Actually, let me do that. Actually, before I even do that, this is actually the H-harness that I wore during the Desert Storm and in Somalia later. 1-inch square piece of glint tape sewn to the top of it. That's so an AC-130 can see you from the air. Just like what you mentioned in your earlier videos, I've got my 2 magazine pouches, and they're spread apart to the sides. I was a gunny during Desert Storm. My TE weapon was a 9mm, which is basically useless in a desert. So I went to the armory, I checked out an M16 A2, and so I carried an M16 and a pistol. Got my butt pack, 2 canteens. On the bottom of my butt pack is my Ranger roll. Poncho liner, poncho together, snapped together, first aid kit, canteens, holster. This is an actual Bianchi drop leg. M1911 fits in there perfectly. Spare magazine pouch. Hanging up. Okay. I wore this thing every day for more than 6 months. On the front of the H-harness, you've got your little rings. You got a large one on this side, which fits perfectly for the flashlight. On this side is a smaller D-ring for your lens-added compass. Okay, so now I'm going to hook up the pack. The clips hold the top, and then on the bottom you got 2 snaps that connect to the back straps. So take one. Much easier on a table. Come on. Okay, connected. Then I'll just connect the bottom straps. What they do is, there's 2 of them. One there. Goes over. Clips to hold the bottom of the pack in place. And over here, clips to hold the bottom of the pack in place. Just take it. During Desert Storm, I never put this on my pack, on my H harness. Now also on the side, where is it? I can feel it. I've got my K-bar here. This was the first time in my career during Desert Storm that I wore my K-bar on my belt. I started off my first couple of years in the Marine Corps in the Anglico, 2nd Anglico at Camp Lejeune, and being an airborne unit, we had to have our K-bar on a separate strap hanging down lower because it could not. Could you imagine putting all this stuff on and then putting a parachute harness over on top of this? So our K-bar had to be lower and accessible. Now, this system is basically an upgraded version, as I said, of the M1941 stuff. Basically the same as the Marines wore during World War II. Yeah, there it is here. There. If you notice, there's a loop up here. Come on closer. There's a loop up here. Another loop down here. And behind the bayonet. That was for your shelter half. Here. Each hole connected right there. So it was not an indigenous pack that we got from the Arvin. That was an actual U.S. Marine Corps pack to replace the M41 pack. That was before the Alice pack. It didn't last too long because the Alice pack came out in the early 70s. This is what I was saying about the K-bar. What we did is we took the old M1941 H harness straps. It had two smaller straps here. We would cut those off and we would make a separate belt for our K-bar that hung low. The string here is actually part of the parachute equipment. It's got an 80-pound bursting strength. So if you landed in the tree branch got underneath there, it would snap. If you used 550 cord, it would snap your leg instead. Oh, got my shirt. Another modification we had to do is we had to take the retaining strap from up on top and put it down on the bottom. Because when it was still up on top, the K-bar was able to slide all the way up, and that was a safety thing for the parachute. So we had to lower that, and it actually gave it more flexibility. So, I'll send this to you. Oh, now, inside my butt pack, I carried my boonie cover, socks, pair of gloves, 2 MREs. In my pistol, I had 15 rounds in the magazine, another 15 rounds in the extra magazine, and the remaining 20 from the box were in here. And then I had 2 MREs. I wore this thing every day for more than 6 months, except for I didn't have this on it, just the lower half. Okay, good to go, Liz.